What's up, man? What are you doing? Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing, man? What up, everybody? How you doing? Happy Friday out there to all you folks, all you people, all the people out there doing Friday stuff. Happy Friday to you. My intentions was to be here earlier today, but to those of you on the Patreon, or those Patreonizers that are on the Discord, you guys know Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., I think he's a junior, created a giant traffic jam, and I got stuck again, which is funny because I got stuck last night for 2 hours behind the presidential motorcade. What an unexpected inconvenience. Did not even realize that was going to happen to me. I got stuck in a spot on the freeway where you couldn't turn around, you couldn't get out, there's nothing. So people just literally parked their cars and got out and stretched their legs on the freeway. But regardless, as you guys know, I'm normally here earlier on Fridays. I got stuck in another traffic jam, so here we are later in the day, or later in the evening, as it were. It might be morning time wherever you're at. So that's a thing. On today's show, we don't have a lot of topics ahead of time because I spent all morning driving around trying to figure out if we're gonna be able to close on a house or not. We'll see. Fingers crossed, you weirdos. Around we'll know around 9 o'clock tonight, which is about 7 hours from right now. Whether or not we're going to continue on the hunt or if we can get under contract. We'll find out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's been a giant disaster trying to buy a house. And I did post in the title today, is the housing market doomed? Andikin had a pretty... a strange comment in the chat there. It says, housing market has not changed for the regular person. Prices stopped going up, but borrowing power decreased. Prices are still going up a little bit. Not as much, not as dramatically as they were. But I would argue they're still going up. Yes, they have raised the interest rates, so people are unable to borrow as large amount of money, but it is not normal for the regular person. It has changed distinctly over the last 5, 6, 8 years. I think about the last 8 years. It's been insane. It's been nuts. It's been crazy. So the house that we wanted to get, which you guys don't even know. I think we were talking about it on Monday. We wanted to get that house as it had a well and city water on it. So I would have had hard water and soft water to build out a new fish room, which would have been great. Our offer was 23% over list price. So that will give you an idea how much we went over. Let's say that house was $400,000. If you were 25% over list price, that'd be $100,000, right? Some of you math wizards out there could figure it out. But it is not normal because we even went 23% over list price and still got outbid. We got outbid, and we did not get the house that we wanted to get. We did not get the other house we wanted to get. We're just getting poorer and poorer as the time goes by. But regardless of that fact, we shall continue ever forward or stay here. One or the other is going to happen. One or the other thing is going to happen. So, I think both me and my lovely spouse are in agreement that if we can't get under contract by the end of the month, we're just done. We're just done doing it. I think that's going to be the as far as like when we run out of runway, will be the end of the month. I think that's when we've sort of decided to set the date, as it were. And we're gonna set a date, guys. Yeah, we're gonna set a date. That's how it's gonna be. I've explained it on the live stream here quite a few times, and whether or not people watch the live streams or not, that's your choice. But if you haven't been, the idea was to move out of this house into a place probably 80 miles north of where we live, so it can be closer to work, and also buy a property that has a separate building for a fish shop or fish room or fish extravaganza or, whatever you want to call it. Fish building, fish house, fish aquarium building, aquarium cave. I don't know. I'm sure they will come up with a name for it, but you guys get the idea. The idea was to do that, and it has been a disaster trying to do that. So we've got a few more options here over the next little bit, but as Andikin said, the borrowing power has decreased. Well, we've had an increase in interest rates, which really hasn't affected Vicky and I. We're in a fairly good position. Our top number has come down, but we weren't going to spend that much money on a house anyways, so that didn't really change anything for us. If the sky was the limit, we would have already been moved by now. Yeah. If the sky was the limit, we would have already moved. If we had $1 million in the bank, we would have already bought a place and been done with it. But we don't even remotely have that much money in the bank. So it's been a bit of a struggle, man. So just so that people know, it's like sort of the plan to start edited content. To start the editing process of content and stuff was basically like, let me get this move done. Then I can start editing the backlog and filming the new projects. And, so I will admit I am waiting on that because this definitely eats up multiple hours out of every day, that I would normally use for like editing is trying to find a new property. So, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. That's basically where we're at right now. It's just it is discouraging, as Metalfish says. It's disheartening. It is disheartening. But it's just a reality of the world that we live in. So we've got to adapt with it and stuff like that. When the pandemic came and went. Actually, let me update our members, because I'm supposed to do that. That's a big portion of the show, is yelling about how people should become paid members. It's the whole like, become a member today. Oh my God, you got to become a member, everybody. Just hit the like button. It's fine. You can become a member if you want. You don't have to. But I think the thing that got me a little bit disheartened is, the pandemic came, and to be honest with you, I think there were a lot of people that took what I would consider to be a pretty pragmatic approach to things that were happening during the pandemic. Is like they sort of tightened their belt. And, my YouTube channel here lost a lot of the people that were backing it financially, like fans of this channel. To the point where it was like, I think when I went and did the math from 2000 to 2001 or something like that, it was like 62% or something crazy like that, which the reason I don't remember the exact percentage is mainly because I don't want to remember the exact percentage. It's just, if you focus on your defeats like that, you're never gonna move forward in life, right? So it was kind of like, wow, that's a lot. We'll just call it 50. So it's no criticism of people like tightening their belts in a just a matter of pragmatism, because it was like there wasn't even toilet paper. You guys remember that? Remember when all the toilet paper was gone and people were freaking out and buying all the toilet paper, and it was like, I don't understand what's going on with the toilet paper situation. That was weird. But it definitely freaked a lot of people out when they tried to go to the grocery store and they're like, there is no toilet paper. The unknown was looming, right? The fear of the unknown was looming, and people were like, well, I guess I better buy a lifetime supply of toilet paper because it's going to be going crazy. Joseph Stanley says, wait, memberships went down? They did. I checked right before the show. Let me refresh the page, just in case anybody is wondering. I'll refresh the page. Here we go. I can show you guys this. Here. Since you guys watch the show, I can show you some behind the scenes. Let's see. The whole new button scheme on this software is confusing at times, but here you go. In case anybody was wondering, that's what it looks like right there. So we've got total members, 78, which is an up and down of 0%. The raise and lower of total members is 0. It's been stagnant at 78. Members gained in the last 31 days, 6, which is a raise of 20%, which means we don't really have that many members coming and going. Right? But we've had 7 cancellations, which is an increase in 40%. Oh my God, guys. 3 of those reasons responded to the optional exit survey and chose 67% financial reasons. So 2 of the 3 were financial, and 1 of the 3 says other. We don't know why. Other doesn't give us a whole lot of information. Other. Right. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm appreciative of the 78 people plus the 138 patrons. I hope you guys know that. And so it is all good. It is what it is, though. We got to be truthful in our narrative here, right? And which I try to be as 100% truthful with you guys as humanly possible. I don't disclose everything, though, because some things are none of your information, right? Joel G is a member. I hope you guys know that. Joel G is a member for 6 months. Says, if you become a member, wonderful things happen, like fireworks at appropriate hours and inappropriate locations where they won't bother pets, etc., which is a good point. It does make me crazy when people randomly start shooting off fireworks. It is probably, it's not the main reason, but I'm going to add that to the list of reasons why I want to move away from where I live. Yeah. I bought my wife and daughter's bides. Chirish, I don't know what that means. Bides? What are bides? Am I confused? I'm confused. Help me from my confusion. What are bides? I don't know. Listing price is a number with no meaning. If you had to bid 23% above, it means a true value target price is higher. No. Okay. Yes, I understand that a list number has no meaning, okay? But it also has a meaning because it's the list price, okay? It's the best evaluation to either start out at it's a market evaluated price set by the realtor, right? So, yes, you could put 0 up there, right? You could have a you could have a list price of 0 if you want, right? And you could have an escalation from 0 in insane percentages, right? But it is a ballpark number. But yes, you can look at comps. You can go through your comp list with your real estate agent if you want, or if you have access to the MLS. You can go through and look at comps and comparable sales in the area that have happened within the last 6 months and come up with a pretty good ballpark of what the valuation is going to be. Yes, you do need a proper appraisal done by a third party ordered through a bank in order to get an actual evaluation of the property value if you want to apply it towards a loan or anything like that. Yes, I'm well aware. But when you're talking, when you're talking about a house sale and you're escalating on a list price, which I gave you a number that you could have utilized to realize how much 23% is. Let's say it's a $500,000 house, right? You could pretty easily do 23% of $500,000, right? 23 times 515, right? You could probably do that in your head really quickly and know that $115,000 over $500,000 list price is pretty crazy to get to. But regardless of that, it went over that because somebody had a cash offer even higher than that. And by the way, I'm not looking at $90,000 houses or something like that. There is no $90,000 house in Washington State, unless you're looking at a mobile home in a senior park. If you're looking for a mobile home in a senior park, you could probably find a $90,000 one, but you have to be old enough to live there. That's key, right? So we do age discrimination in that part of the world for whatever. I mean, I think it's a good thing, but it is age discrimination, right? Zipgun says, this is not a normal market. A lot of things that may have been true before are not true at the moment. That's realistically like the biggest reason. Is it's not a normal market at all. One of the bigger issues that I have is that it's not uncommon for somebody to be renting a place for like $2,000 a month and then to realize like the amount of capital that you need in order to put down on the average price of a home. Because I think the average price of a house in Washington, price of single family home in Washington State. Meow. Yeah, so here's a good example of how it's not normal, and I guess I'll show you guys my source. Smart Selection. We'll put it up here on the screen this way. This is not normal. The reason we know that this is not normal is because you can legitimately look at the numbers and say, hey, that's not normal, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just up to 2020. There's more. It's worse in 2021. But increasing over 121,000, a gain of 64%. Median prices continue to trend upwards in 2020, increasing 13% over 2019. So if you look at this, it's 348,000, 362,000. Like this could be considered normal right here. Like, it's increasing, but like, it's kind of nominal. Then it like starts to ramp up. Then it's ramping up and it's ramping up and it's ramping up. At some point in time, we're going to end up with some real problems on our hands. But what's even crazier, here we go, is this right here. I need to like fix my, hold on, where are we at? Let's get it up here. There we go. But you can start to look at this. So it's like Hawaii's at the top, obviously. Duh, right? It's an island out in the middle of nowhere in the ocean. Of course it's going to be the most expensive. But then you got California, single family home, 708,000. That's wild. Then you get this big drop down into Massachusetts. But then all of a sudden it goes up again for Washington. So these two should be inverted, right? These should be inverted if this is like a price list. Duh. I don't know why 3 and 4 are like that. But then Colorado, Oregon, Utah, New Jersey, New York. It's cheaper. Single-family homes in New York are averaging lower than Washington State. Idaho, all of a sudden, has gone way up, right? Let's see. What else do we got here? Let's go down to the worst. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Can we get to the bottom? Hold on. We got to go like this. Oh, I can't scroll. Oh, no. I can't scroll down to the bottom. I got to move my window. Either way, West Virginia is 118,000. That is wild. Mississippi, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama, Iowa, Kentucky, Kansas, Ohio. Yeah, it's pretty cheap to live in Ohio, isn't it? But the median incomes definitely do take a big drop down there. Average household income goes from like close to 80,000 all the way down at the bottom is 48,000. 45 in Mississippi. That's the lowest, I think, that I can see on here. Yeah, it's pretty rough out there, though. That's kind of my thing. And then to just go like, that's not normal. This whole like madness is not. This is not normal for house prices to go up by these percentages every year. It's just out there, dude. It's wild. I think the unfortunate part is the market correction is going to be real rough, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, regardless of market correction scares in the future or whatever, either way, it's going to be best to just get the deal done. That's the best thing to do. But we might end up just backing out altogether. I don't know. Zipgun has purchased 3 properties in the past, paid under asking price each time. That will not happen in this market. No, it generally won't happen in this market. If they keep raising the interest rates, what are the current? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Today's market. What do we got? Oh my God, get out of here. Oh, that's right. This is all like super hard to look up. I remember this from before. Current mortgage rates today. There we go. Excuse me, I burped. I had to eat a chicken sandwich. Dude, I was so starving, dude. I was starving Marvin, and I ended up eating a chicken sandwich. It's making me burp now, and it's kind of a bummer. I don't like burping into the microphone. Truth be told, I kind of do, but, what are you going to do? So January we were at like 2.8% on a 30 fixed. Then, yeah. We're getting close. People are getting into the 5s, which is going to be problematic for a lot of people out there. The national 30-year refinance rate is 5.26. Because I know that, 5.29%. Up 22 basis points over the last 7 days. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to see how much it's going up, but the thing is, like, if they get up into the 6s, 7s, even the 8s or whatever, like, most people aren't going to be able to borrow enough money to buy a house, which would be a bummer, because then we got to do a whole bunch of crap to try and fix that, but it's a never-ending cycle of craziness. Oh, let's see, 5.26. Yeah, it seems like 5.26 or 5.29 is kind of seemingly to be the rate. Unless you're on a 15-year, then you can get a 4.1 or something, but that makes some crazy payments, Kylan Landry says, bro, the whole country is doomed. I don't believe the whole country is doomed. I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of I think there's a lot of people out there that are a little bit confused as far as their stance goes. Like, I was reading an article about if you guys remember a while back, there was some people that did some cake decorating, or they made wedding cakes, and they refused to have to make a wedding cake for a gay couple. And it was basically like, it was an article explaining about how they were being forced to participate in something that was against their religion, which may or may not realistically be accurate as far as the presentation of how it was done. How it was, how it was broken down was as like, if somebody came, like, let's say you owned a print shop, and if you if somebody with a different political ideology than you came to essentially have, print political flyers for you, and they said, well, we'll print it, but we won't do the graphic design side of it because that would be considered participation. I can understand like the analogy of where they came through on that, but it was my understanding. Now I might be totally off basis here and probably need to do more reading into it, but it was in my understanding that they just refused to do any kind of cake baking for the couple that was getting married, because they happened to be gay, right? Now it might be that they said, hey, we'll make you a standard issue cake and you can just have that, but that wasn't my interpretation of what had happened. And they had used this analogy about somebody owning a print shop and saying that they wouldn't do the graphic design for the oppositional political ideology, but they would do the print job. And I was like, well, I could understand like if that was the basis of the original right to refusal to work, but I don't think that that's what happened. And I was like, well, either way, it seems discriminatory to me, like from my standpoint. To just say like you're not going to bake a cake for somebody who wanted a cake baked for them, right? It just seems so out there. And I think it's that the reason I kind of bring that up is that I think that lends some insight to when I say that it seems like some people are confused. It's in that vein. It's in that vein of going, hey, these leftists are trying to, I don't know, do blah-bitty, blah-bitty, blah. And, oh, these conservatives are trying to blah, 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 whatever. And I think the reality is that most people are attempting to get a realistic, positive outcome from the efforts that they are putting into things. And if that is the case, let's all do that. And the refusal to like just do the business transaction that you were already saying that you were going to do by, like, for instance, owning a bakery, seems like you're not following through on just doing what it was that you said you were going to do. Oh my God, someone's at the door. They're ringing the doorbell. What are they doing? Let's see who they are. Hold on. We got to interrupt this message. Someone's at the door. We're going to look at them with the camera. We're going to see what they're doing. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, they're already gone. They dropped off a package. Boring. I think it's dog food. Yep. Somebody dropped off a package of dog food for the dog. And I think like I was talking there, I think that like some people get a bit confused as to how things are going, in the vein of like, this country is doomed, right? Like, I don't think that this country is doomed. I think that they're, I think that because of certain like societal pressures and sort of really old ideology prescriptions are creating conflict where I don't even think that there should have been conflict in the first place. Like if you're the baker and you're going to make a wedding cake and somebody comes in and they're going to order a wedding cake and they're going to give you money for it, who cares if it says happy wedding Steve and Steve or happy wedding Mary and Joseph or whatever, right? Like why would any baker even care? Like, why would that even bother them? You know, that I think that's where a lot of this country's doomed is going to go off the deep end. Right now, as far as the housing market goes, it's clear that it's clear to me that a lot of people are taking advantage of, basically like lack of inventory, the ability to loan money cheaply, along with, resale capital and, old boomers retiring that have a lot of money, right? So they don't necessarily have a lot of money. They have a lot of money to do something with it. So Andikin says, would you make a happy Nazi cake? So I can explain this to you very simply. I have a lot of tattooing buddies, and they tattoo probably Nazi guys that come in. They don't tattoo swastikas onto people, but they'll tattoo a Nazi person. Like, here's my artwork, right? So if you say, I'm a tattooer, and here's my art portfolio of my tattoos I've designed, and somebody came in and said, tattoo a swastika on me, they'd say, no, I don't tattoo swastikas because here's my artwork. Now, if you happen to be a cake baker and you said, here's my cake portfolio of the cakes that I make, pick one of those, right? Why would that be an issue? Why would that be an issue for somebody running a business? Just to say, oh, I can make you a standard issue cake. I can make you a standard issue tattoo. These are my tattoos. You can have one of these tattoos, right? How easy is that? You say, like, I don't want to design a Nazi cake, right? But you could probably sell a regular standard issue cake to a Nazi, right? You probably could, right? No conflict there. And then if they want to take it home and put whatever on it they want, they could do that. Errors says, not to go off topic here, but I'm looking to stock my 10-gallon, thinking about doing 6 to 8 Ember Tetra, an algae eater, and after it's established for a minute, add a male beta. As far as like the algae eaters go in a 10-gallon, I think you're going to be limited. You're generally going to be limited by the 10-gallon size. And I think that if I was going to go with something in a 10-gallon, I would be probably looking for. I think I would probably go with just like bristlenose plecos or something like that. I would go with the smaller size pleco that can hang out in a small tank, and doesn't like readily disturb stuff too much. You don't want to go for any of the wood eating plecos, obviously, but to me, like, maintaining a 10-gallon tank is sort of like not that much energy to keep it clean and sort of algae free. So I would go with the human element. I wouldn't stock to like do a whole lot. I wouldn't do a whole lot to try and get some creature to take care of the algae for me. Does that make sense? I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't be doing that the way that I run my tanks. Yeah. Someone's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell. Someone's knocking the door. Someone's ringing the bell. Do me a favor. Open the door and let him in. It was just a package guy. Yeah, I don't know who it was. Unless it's autosynkless, a mono shrimp, or snails, I would ditch the algae eater. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like you could add some snails. You could add some shrimp. You could add some stuff that are going to kind of like chew on things and stuff like that. But it's not. You're not really going to make a big change to algae and pretty much anything. You know what I mean? You're not going to make a big change algae wise with just adding some critters into a tank. Like, the biggest thing that you're going to be able to do is be a human and engage with the tank and manage Manage algae growth that way is really going to be the best way to do it. You know, I mean, you just think about it in terms of what can humans do? How can humans interface with the world? And how much faster you could, air quote, clean up the algae faster than a small animal can. I've got autos in some small tanks, but I do have to supplement them with algae wafers. Yeah, I mean, as far as like auto sinkless go, I don't know, anybody that's following the channel for a really long time, you guys probably remember my giant auto sinkless tanks. I forget, like, I think that whole system was like 300 gallons, I think. I'm trying to remember. But at one point, I was testing the theory about breeding autosinkless because I was trying to breed autosinkless for a long time with like 20 of them, and it wasn't enough. In my opinion, is kind of what I thought was going on. Like, I don't have enough of them to get them to breed. So I had purchased hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of autosinkless. I think at most I probably had like 300, and then you would get some die off here and there. But I did get them to breed. The trigger turned out was just doing like gigantic water changes to the system. Really triggered them to like seasonally breed, basically. Lots of food, a big colony, and doing those big water changes. But you know, even with hundreds of autosinkless in there, it wasn't algae free. It literally came down to me doing something to the tank to like keep it clean, keep it balanced. I think it's difficult for people to sort of, you know, think of it in terms of like you've built a small ecosystem and you are essentially like the lord of the tank. Like you are the higher power. Oh, you're the higher power of the tank. You know what I mean? You are the one who's in charge of making sure that it is doing well, right? And balanced and not overrun with algae. Because if we're talking about nature's going to go through crazy algae blooms, retreats of algae, all that stuff, all the seasons it's going to go through. Most of us are maintaining our aquarium to be essentially, if you're thinking of it in seasons, spring and summer, and kind of bouncing between the two. Like, there really isn't a period of time where you just let everything go dormant for 3 months, do you? You know, like we don't. We're sort of maintaining spring and summer for all year round. And if you're not interfacing with it, it can easily get out of hand. And then it becomes, it loses its aesthetic pleasure to you because it's difficult to see things. There's algae all over stuff. It seems dirty, blah, blah, blah. But like, for instance, green water is not unhealthy for almost every critter we keep in an aquarium. Excuse me. But green water sucks for people. Like, we can't see through and can't see what's going on. So yeah, it's just kind of a bummer with all that. The UK housing market is insane. I don't think I could hope to own a home until I earn maybe 40 to 60,000 pounds a year just for the mortgage. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. What is it? The DIR, the debt to income ratio. The debt to income ratio hasn't changed yet. Current debt to income ratio. What can you afford? See how much you can afford. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's DTI. They say debt to DTI, but it's DIR, debt to income ratio. Come on now. Yeah, that's right, because it's DTI because it's debt to income ratio. But we don't worry about the R, you know? We'll just leave it hanging out there. Oh, what's the current what's it? What do they currently have it set to? Let's see if we can find it. Bob pays $600 a month in minimum debt payments for student loans and a car payment, plus $1,000 a month for his mortgage payment. Before taxes, Bob brings home $5,000 a month. To calculate his DTI, add up his monthly debt and mortgage payments and divide by his gross monthly income. Multiply that by 100 to get a percentage. So Bob's debt to income ratio is 32%. Oh my God. Which is always weird because they calculate it on your gross, and it's like I don't bring home my gross income. I bring home my net income. But yeah, what's going to be really difficult is when the banks raise the DTI, the debt to income ratio, is where things are going to get kind of crazy. Is to the extent of my knowledge, they haven't raised it yet. I believe it's somewhere at like 44 or 45 or something like that right now. But yeah, where is it? Yeah, between 36 and 50% is the most that they'll go. But right now, the DTI is pretty low from what I've seen. I don't want to give you guys specific numbers because I'm not finding any here on a reasonable website. We can't trust Wells Fargo. I don't think we can trust Wells Fargo. That's goofy. Yeah, 43% right now. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says it's at 43%. Is basically you don't want it to go any further than that. So, yeah. Oh, Byron Volman's here. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right, man. I'm stressed out. I got the twitchy eye. From being stressed out trying to buy a house, but what are you going to do? There's not much I can do about it. Oh my God, my timer's going off, guys. Become a member today. You should join up on Become a YouTube member because it's always funny to say become a YouTube member, right? Yeah, or patron or something. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Moving on. But I did the thing. The timer told me I was supposed to do the thing. I ignored it for like 15 minutes. So click the link and become a member. I don't even have any green names in the chat here except for Wesley, who's been a member for 19 months saying, hi, hey buddy, how you doing? New Local Austin says Lord of the Tank. That needs to be on a tank top for sure. That's a good point. Hey, feel free. Put it on a shirt, print it out, do some merch for yourself. I think I still have merch, but I don't even care. I don't like to push merch on people. I don't think it's good for our parasocial relationship. I don't think it's good for our back and forth repertoire, for me to tell you to buy merch. I like to tell you to become a member. It's more fun because then we can chat on Discord and stuff later on. And you can see my illustrious picture of a rainbow with a crane, like a building crane, like a big giant skyscraper crane. Captured that yesterday whilst I was waiting in Joe Biden's traffic jam. I mean, it wasn't, I wouldn't say that Joe Biden owned the traffic jam, but he definitely created the traffic jam. His presence was the thing, Freshwater Ichthyology says, if the housing market gets less affordable, do you think nano fishes will be more popular and monster fish less so as people are priced out of the market? No, not at all. I mean, if a fish becomes more or less popular, it literally just has to do with trends. If somebody popular makes but it has to be like somebody like insanely popular, somebody that's like world-renowned popular, which there isn't that many aquascapers that are even that world-renowned. They're not even that many aquascapers that are that world-renowned. But if they do a project that really influences a lot of people to get excited about a specific thing, you can see the popularity of that fish or that plant or that coral or that whatever raise up and change the market a little bit, but I really don't think there's very many. I don't think there's very many people in the Asian market or American market that really would count those types of things into the projects that they're working on because, um, space availability doesn't seem to be an issue for most collectoritis, like collecting tanks and stuff like that, doesn't seem to be that big of an obstruction. The used market is pretty large, which I noticed when I was in Europe. There isn't that much of a used aquarium market out there, and there are some for sale, but it's not a lot. It's not as crazy as it is in the U.S. You can always find something for sale in the U.S. That's for sure. Alana says, I like to move the algae-covered rocks from the cichlid tanks over to the auto, nerite, and algae eater tanks and see how long it takes them to clean it. Generally, the algae will beat out just about anything. Will beat out just about anything, because it's, it's really basic for algae to replicate, and creatures can only eat so much stuff. Also kind of depends on the fish in the tank. Guppies like to eat algae too and will swarm decoration covered in it almost more than the algae eaters. That's generally can be true. Lockdown Live Bears says, currently I'm running my lights 9 hours a day. However, I have a 10-gallon tank I've set up for cherry shrimp. Would it make sense to increase the amount of lighting time to increase the algae? Obviously, like increased photo period will generally create more algae. Yeah, I think so. It's true. And I don't think that people are... I don't think that you're off base, like, thinking about lengthening the photo period, but... I don't know really how to answer this question. Yes, if you increase the photo period, you will generally get more algae. Will you be happy with that algae, though? Probably not. Probably won't be satisfied with the algae that you're getting. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing that you could do. But you could increase nutrients and stuff and get it. But, I think... like growing algae, unless you're growing green water for like infusoria and stuff like that, is like I don't think it's like a very beneficial endeavor. Like you can, I think you're realistically just going to run into more problems than you want to. But it is what it is. Terry's Tropical Tanks is a member saying hi, so I can see more green. Okay, good. Thank you. And Joseph Stanley. We have at least two members here commenting in the chat. So things are good, right? Long humid day of demo today and I'm dead. Just fell asleep sitting on the couch. I need a shower. Yeah, yesterday I was up on scaffolding working on overhead stuff all day. And I kind of remembered this morning that I kind of reminded myself I don't work on overhead stuff like that. That much anymore, and just realized like, oh, my shoulder, wiring lights like that. It's pretty rare these days that I'm going to do that many in a row like I did yesterday. And just kind of like, oh yeah, forgot that muscle group doesn't do that much anymore. It's just interesting to compare the European, UK, and US fish keeping markets. So far, I think the king of DIY has a lasting impact on our market. I think you would be surprised if you actually sort of like really delved into the trends and histories of the fish markets and stuff like that. Like Aquarium Glazer in Germany, I think would be a good place to inquire about sort of popularity and actual import of fish and stuff over the years to figure out where the ebb and flows of those kinds of things are. It's pretty easy to it's pretty easy to assume that like things that are happening on small portions of and social media is like a stupid way to say it, but like YouTube or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, like whatever trends are happening at the moment, it's very easy to like see them and then see that popularity and then sort of cast that onto a perceived change in a market. Whereas I would say that like the biggest difference in America versus UK is volume sales in America revolve around selling cheap aquariums. And that's generally always been the mode in the United States, is sell a super cheap aquarium, get people into the hobby, and then resell them over and over again on them coming into the store and like buying fish food and things that are super marked up that are around. Whereas the everywhere in the EU, and I know that the UK went through Brexit, blah, 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 whatever. You guys are all the EU. Has always sort of, in my experience, had more of a get one really quality tank, focus on it, focus on that ecosystem that you have. Whereas in the United States, you're going to get like a lot of cheap tanks. So you're going to see a lot of people that have 15 different tanks, a bunch of different tanks and stuff like that. Freshwater Ichthyology says Aquarium Glazer isn't popular in the UK due to their insane prices. I'm saying Aquarium Glazer has been importing fish in Europe for the last, 50 years or whatever. They would be a good spot to ask about if you're wondering about fish import trends and things that have been popular over the years and stuff. They would be a great resource to go to. If you know a better importer that's been around that long in the UK, I would encourage you to like check in with them and see what really has changed over the years, so that you could kind of figure out what's going on. More to what I was talking about was it's very easy to see what's like kind of going on in your corner of the internet that you're engaging with, or local fish club or your local store or something, and you go like, why are all these goldfish here? And easily like make that correlation in your head of like, oh, somebody's really influencing the market. You know, it's easy to kind of just correlate those types of things happening that way. Generally, whenever someone wanted monster or large predators, they would say YouTube influenced them. Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah, probably. Joel, so funny. How annoyed would you be if they have you install lights and chandeliers just to see them up, then take them down to paint, move in equipment just to see, then have to move everything? I'm always of the standpoint that like when it comes to work like that, if somebody's paying you to do the work and it's the same type of work, I don't care. Like if you want me to pick up a pile of rocks and move it over there and then pick that pile of rocks and move it back over there, it's funny to joke about, and my sense of humor is that way. I almost always will make fun of stuff like that because that's just my sense of humor. But realistically, like deep down inside, I'd be like, yeah, all right, man. You want me to move this pile of rocks back and forth? Like we agreed on this, the bid on this job. So, okay. Like, all right, dude, whatever you want me to do. That's just kind of what it boils down to. Got a 10-gallon with a hang-on back for $2 today from a garage sale while I was walking around my neighborhood. Yeah, exactly. There's a perfect example right there. $2. Yeah, $2 for a 10-gallon tank and a hang-on back filter. So, yep, that's a good example of just stuff like that. Like that's been the mentality in the U.S. for a really long time. Oh my God, the Aquatic Morning Show has become a member. And then who is asking about it? Errors says, is there a Discord link? There is a Discord link if you become a member. You can roll over to the community tab on the YouTube page. Scroll down, you'll find the Discord link. If you actually are a member, then it will verify you, and you'll be able to see it and go to the Discord. So I remember a while ago somebody said, like, dude, our Discord could have like so many more people if you just opened it to the public. And I'd say, yes, that's true. We would have a lot more people on the Discord if I opened it to the public. But then we would have to moderate it all the time. We'd have to have a whole bunch of people moderate the Discord because you get lots of people. If you have an open forum, they come in, they post all sorts of crazy nonsense. Then you have to delete it. Then you have to kick them out. Then they want to know why they got kicked out. And you're like, well, it's pretty obvious. You post all these dick pics on here. We can't have that. It says it in the rules. You got kicked out. What do you want us to do? Oh, I'm just going to go make another account and log back in. And my stance is this. If you have to be moderated, somebody should be compensated for having to moderate your behavior, right? It should just be like, it says here in the rules, this is what's up. And you come follow them. So you got to go. So if you want to, so basically, like, if you want to troll the Discord, you're going to have to just keep making new accounts and then paying to do it. So eventually at some point, people will just get tired of paying to do that. And therefore, there's kind of a barrier for having to constantly moderate stuff or have other people moderate it or pay other people to moderate it or pay for software to moderate it. You know what I'm saying? It's all time. And time just boils down to, sadly, money. It's not really the world I want to live in. But, hey, you just got to make the best of it and do what we got to do. Uh-oh. Somebody's messaging me. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Nothing. No news for you. Just a regular old friendly message. Rosie says, I just bought 8 autos and I put them in my 10-gallon quarantine tank. I don't have a lot of algae, but I do have a green water tank. Should I just pour some in? Will that feed the autos? No, I would just add some algae wafers and see how the autos do. If not, I would add some Soylent Green from Repashy. I wonder if oh my God. You know, guys, we have an Amazon. We should go look at that so I could share Amazon links for you guys. Repashy Soylent Green. I don't even know if this is the... Holy crap, they sell it on Amazon now. Here you go. This realistically was the easiest food to amend for feeding autos. Boom. Along with Alyssa says Bacter AE, which I was going to get to as soon as I got done getting the Repashy Soylent Green one. Because I know that Bacter AE is in the store already. Why is my eye twitching? Probably, I'm just too stressed out, probably. It is bugging me. I gotta go put some eye drops in or something. I don't know. Ever since I got eye surgery, like, my eyes feel weird sometimes. But here's the other link for Bacter AE for food for your auto stinklesses. Follow the instructions on both of the bottles. It'd be pretty easy. They're pretty easy to follow instructions. That would be what I would amend. Adding green water isn't really going to do much of anything. It's not really going to do much of anything, honestly. So that's why I would recommend, like, maybe don't do that, because you're not going to see much of anything happening there. And then here's the other useful link of the week from one of the electrician groups I'm involved in. We had an electrician that was complaining about trying to get a screw into the side of a light fixture that was right near the wall, and he couldn't fit his fingers in there, but then he was bragging about how small his fingers were, which was kind of weird. Because it was like, hey, Here's a side ratcheting screwdriver that fits right into those super tight spots. It costs $14. Like, aren't you a professional? You should probably just have one of these in your bag somewhere. A lot of sick burns on the guy who was talking. He was, he was proud how tiny his fingers were or something. I don't know. Skinny. I think he thought that it was funny. It was really cool that he had really skinny fingers, which it's kind of, there's a first time for everything. You know what I mean? And I was just like, well, that's a thing that's happening, I guess. So I guess that's what he's up to, and it was weird. But, we all just going to continue on. Rosie, I forget. It's a little tiny scooper for the Bacter AE. There's a label on the back, and I will admit, I read the labels, Like, there's only so much I can keep in my brain at one point in time. And the third of a scoop, says Alyssa. So, there you go. That's not even a measurement. You guys are weird. Alyssa's weird. But third of a scoop's fine. Yeah, I always just read. That kind of stuff. I always just read the instructions and then just immediately don't think about it ever again because I'm like, I got to think about some other stuff. I got other things to think about. What's going on here with our? Okay, it's going. Our little investment here has been going down. Let's see how much it's down. Oh my God. 16%. Our little investment has gone down 16%. I'm not going to tell you guys what we're invested in, but I did invest a little bit of money into a thing, and I decided to check on it, and it's gone down. So we're going long term on that run there. We'll see what happens. I would knock like a da-da-da-da. You know what they say about small hands? Loose gloves. That's right. New Local Austin says, looking at my fingers, thank God it's Friday. It's a good point. I didn't get dinged up too bad this week. I had to take a sick day because both of my ladies were super sick on Tuesday. So I tried to get all the work done in 2 days. Up at the Aquarium Co-op, I had to take a sick day to take care of my ladies. Both of them were homesick on Tuesday. I have not. I didn't catch their sickness. So this is a first. I hope you guys mark. I hope you mark the calendar today. Today's the first time that both of the ladies got sick, Olivia and Victoria. They both got sick, and I did not because my immune system's just doing that good nowadays, which is good, right? I think it's good. But I forgot to mention, it brings our member count up to 79. So we're that much closer to 1 million, right? We're that much closer to 1 million members. Some people would say 1 million members is a big goal, and I would agree with them. Whoever they are, I agree. You guys are right. That is a big goal. The S&P is killing me, and my Vinix fund. What is Vinix? I don't know what that is. What is that? Let's look that up. It sounds like that's a band. I can't play the music because we'll get a copyright strike. What's a Vinix fund? All right, I don't know. I tried to look it up. I don't know what a Vinix fund is. You got me, Terry. I don't know what that means. Do you get any weird Amazon affiliate purchases lately? Let's take a look, man. Let's go through the affiliate purchases. Let's see. Lifeguard Aquatics parts, that's normal. Glass CO2 drop checker, that's normal. LED lights. Huh. Oh, somebody ordered a Extend Your Boundaries book. I don't know. Somebody bought some spray paint, some snips, some of that. Somebody ordered a thermos. All right. Water filter cartridge. No, nothing interesting. Everything in the Amazon, very, very normal. Oh, Vanguard Index Fund. Okay. Okay, good. I know what a Vanguard Index Fund is. I didn't know what Divinix was, but I like it. Turns out it's a band. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're like a really good band, and they're named after Vanguard Index Funds. Who knows? It's possible. Did everybody hit the like button today? We gotta up our like games around here, guys. We don't have enough likes. I think. I've heard that was a thing. I'm gonna wear my shades. I can't see the computer screen anymore. I can see this screen over here, but not that one. That one's in dark mode, and now I can't see anything. I was going to wear my shades because it's just too bright in here. My future is too bright. I was going to wear some shades, but it didn't work. I can't see my control panel. It went away. Oh, Travis Wilson has a good point. Their autos, like the Hikari mini wafers. Actually, yeah, I have seen some pretty good success out of Hikari mini algae wafers. Let's see if we can't. Are those on Amazon? Yeah, they're right here. That's not bad. $9. $9. And you get it Amazon right to your door. How much are they in the store? Probably cheaper than $9, but I almost feel like you got to do it. Byron says, hey, heads up, AquaPros is doing a talk at WVS in Eugene on the 15th next month. I don't know, man. You probably should have told me. I might have gone or something, but I haven't heard from AquaPros in a while. You got into that sticker game, and I don't know. I think I pissed off somebody. I don't know. Let's be honest, guys. I pretty much regularly piss off just about every single person. So, I just haven't heard from him. Although last time I talked to him, he told me that he missed me and wanted to hang out. So maybe he's just busy. But the 15th next month, I do need to go down to Eugene to film the fish store. 15th is a Sunday. Let's see. I don't know. Remind me, and I might be able to go. That might be fun to go. It'd be fun to get out of town for a couple days. I'm tired of being in town. I'd like to go film some fish stores and fish stuff. That's what I would like to be doing. Which is why I want to move. I want to get the move done so I can go and film stuff. Anyhow, moving on. Oh my God, it's 3:45. I was only going to go until 3:30 today. But we did get a new member, so we got that going for us. So, no super chats today, but the Aquatic Morning Show became our new member. Became a new member today. So, thank you very much. I've got a couple things to do before I got to go pick up my daughter from her daycare, which, I mean, it's not even a daycare. It's like preschool now, which is wild, dudes, because that little daughter of mine, man, I like her a lot. She is really cool. She's really smart. She's very stubborn, like her dad, which is great. I like that about her. Testing boundaries. Yeah, so she's a good kid out there at the old preschool. So I got a few things I got to do before I go pick her up, and hopefully you guys have a great weekend. We might be able to have Alyssa back here on Monday. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Maybe if we get 1 million members by Monday, we'll have to do a live stream. I don't know. I don't know, dude.